Shira has him cutting. Beautiful ball, slipped it through that back line. Mirza scores!
We're going to see the onslaught by the Bears. They're going to push everybody forward. Garrett into the middle, saved by Walensky.
There was no flop.
Ball in the box, and it's headed in by Diaz. Bulldogs take the lead.
To the area from here, runs up, takes the swing at it. It's right at the penalty position. Teixeira's there for a goal.
And welcome to Bedford High School here in Bedford, New Hampshire at Bedford High School Stadium. I'm Corey Munster Tiger, joined by Bill Klein. We are ready to bring you Division I boys soccer action as the Bulldogs play host to the Concord Crimson Tide this evening. All you viewers out there, it's a beautiful evening here in Bedford, New Hampshire. 72 degrees as I was pulling into the parking lot. Bill, what are you expecting for tonight's game?
Well, kind of a difficult matchup to predict because from what I've heard, speaking to Bedford coach prior to the game, although the Concord team has not won a game, not a matchup, Bedford Bulldogs are undefeated. He said that they actually are much better than the record shows. Their inability to connect, though, and put a game together is because most of their players have not really played together the way Bedford has. And, of course, this is our first Bedford game to broadcast for the boys tonight, and they ended last season as the state champs, so this will be interesting to see what happens.
Early action here as the Bedford Bulldogs getting it all the way down in the offensive box here, putting pressure on very early. Saw an early chance there by Caden Santerre as he was right along the goal line. And now things will settle down.
Significant difference to a certain extent is that Bedford side has 12 seniors. Concord's playing with a mix of 6 seniors, 6 juniors, 6 sophomores, and 4 freshmen. You got 1 freshman playing on the Bedford team.
Things settling down now as the two teams are fighting for possession a little bit. After that early action right off the kickoff, Bulldogs went right down the middle and had a decent shot.
Is this better?
That is a little better. Now bouncing around just outside the 18 in the Concord half. Pulled down on that far sideline by the Bulldogs, but just out of bounds. They'll throw it in.
Yeah, to finish that review of the players on the field tonight, 12 seniors for Bedford, 5 juniors, 2 sophomores, 1 freshman, so they should be looking for a really good year. And I know a couple of the key players from last year have stepped up and have been putting the ball in the net.
Cap blow on the back line, forward to Matthias Jacobson. Now a deep ball. Looking for that far left wing. That's CJ Johnson running onto it. Get a whistle trailing the play.
Ali Mirza has 5 goals. Corey, he's a junior, which is a good thing. And 4 goals from Tavis Wallace, senior, who's a defender, but our second leading scorer.
Bulldogs earn a free kick just to the top right of the penalty area. Gabe Teixeira looks like he's getting ready to take that, along with Colin Johnson. Johnson standing over at right-footed. Teixeira runs past. Johnson serves it in. Deflection near side. Volley goes high and harmlessly to the far side, to the near side.
It was hard to tell whether Teixeira was trying to pass it across to someone or actually that was a shot the way that it went. It was actually arced away from the goal.
Darji came out with it for Concord, and now it's pounded out of bounds near side by Bryce Fisher.
Gabe Teixeira's older brother, Elliot, is playing down at Western New England University down in Springfield, Mass, and has been playing in every game, averages about 25 to 30 minutes a game.
Good to hear that success from the alumni Bedford Bulldogs folks playing on at the next level.
Yeah, I'm cautious now thinking about the score.
Concord here getting a little time down in the Bulldogs defensive end as they push forward with Wow, that's a tough one. Yevicuri, Don Mevicuri. I'm going to butcher that name all night. Apologies, Don. And now Tennant into the middle for Kaplow. Near side Wallace. Excuse me, that's Hoey. All the way back across.
As you'll hear from Corey tonight, who will be doing the bulk of the announcing, especially the Concord players' names. It's going to be a challenge. It's a truly international side for Concord. Don't know where they're all from, but
they're all from Concord, Bill. Come on, man.
Thank you.
There you go. That is the truth. They are together.
Kaplow step forward from that back line, header all the way out to midfield, but Crimson Tide get back on it. Good hustle on that backside by Johnson, but he's called for a foul.
We had replay. I'd like to see that again. But it looked like it might have been the other way around, but
That was Yevicuri.
hard to tell. And unfortunately, we don't have a replay. I don't know if we're going to have any this season or not.
And now Don will take that free kick. Yeah, we do not have replay tonight here in the booth. There may be some replays later on available for the viewers out there, but we won't have it on our live shot, so apologies if you guys are seeing something different at home than we are. Free kick played into that back line, and the Bulldogs get a foot on it. And now a shot in wide of the goal, but Walensky will handle it, settle things down, and build from the back. Or maybe not. Looks like he's going to punt it away.
Nice punt out to midfield.
Teixeira runs onto it. Now down the near side by Hoey. Into the middle, Mirza with a shot. Can't get it off. Johnson, lefty, blocked out in front by the Concord defenders. Nice job by Crimson Tide to recover there.
Perfect example of how the Bedford players have always, as far as long as I can remember, have connected with each other. There's a couple players every year that seem to know where each other are going to be.
Tough one there. It looked like Mirza had just a split second to try to get a shot off, and then wisely passed it over to that left wing where Johnson was coming on strong, but neither of them could get it past the goalkeeper. We stay knotted at 0.
If you're watching this game live, I can tell you that the girls played an earlier match. It started 4 o'clock up in Concord, and they left with another win. They're undefeated. They beat Concord 6-1 this afternoon.
Bowie, nice little back heel, back to him. Out in front, still can't get a shot off. Again, the Crimson Tide defense does quite well to prevent any shot on the cage. Nifty footwork there by Jacobson and Hoey, connecting on this near right wing. Dargy broken up, and now Fisher plays it back to his keeper.
A nice foot by the keeper to clear that ball well out of the area. Could be a little dangerous when you pass it back to the keeper like that, but especially because they can't pick it up. Got to use the feet quickly.
Beidou Lucas was bringing it down for Concord. Yes, absolutely, he's done well to keep that ball in the field of play.
All the shutouts that Bedford has so far, it's been a team combination. Apparently the two keepers, Yeater and Walensky, who started this evening, both have been sharing in those. It's nice to see a backup keeper that's able to do really
Mirza
well.
with a chance.
Here we go.
Oh, good save again.
He got a quick shot off, which was good. However, goalkeeper came out positioned very well.
And now he'll calm things down and restart. Beautiful punt. All the way down to the Bedford 40-yard line over midfield as Kaplow comes up and heads it from the back line from his center back position. Now Concord tries to run onto it with Siddiqui Rukumbuzi.
Tried to get some information on some of the other recent grads. The only one that I was able to find today was one of our assistant coach's sons, Gavin Diaz. He went down to one of the top programs in the country in Division II, Lynn University. And the good thing is that he is on the team. He made a squad of players from all over the world that were highly recruited, and Lynn is ranked 5th in the country right now. And also, here's a good opportunity.
Hoey streaking down that right wing, fed out wide by Ethan Benjamin, saved again by Concord.
Sean Diaz's father said that the good thing, the roster is about maybe 25, 30 players. Only a smaller group of them actually travel for away games. And his son Gavin is on the travel squad, which is good. That means as a freshman he should be seeing some time in future years. Or future games later this season.
Good to hear once again about our Bulldogs having some success at that next level. Competitive program down there. We wish him the best. Run here by Concord. Lefty shot, can't quite get it on goal. That's Jeremy Millette, and it goes over the end line.
Quick restart there by the keeper. Defender on the right side. Nice play here.
Tipped out of bounds over there on the far side, defended nicely, but the Bulldogs will have a throw in. They'll restart, send it back to their defensive end. That's Ethan Benjamin. Being told that that's Dean Ayotte that's back there in the cage for Concord. Apologies, the numbers weren't matching up with the roster that I have here. And I believe he plays out in the field quite a bit as well, so nice job on the start so far by Dean. As you were mentioning and noticing, Ayotte has been playing quite a few of those balls in with his feet, to me illustrating that he does play in the field quite a bit. As the play comes back out here to midfield, Concord throw. Delicately played along that far sideline by Drayden Yambo. Now deep, here comes Ayotte.
Nice.
Big boot, getting it all the way back to the defensive
you can see that there are no other
Bulldogs.
players within 30 yards any direction there, and the keeper's all the way, almost over to the touch line, all the way. If you misplayed that, it could be real trouble. Well played.
Teixeira did a nice job to win it back for the Bulldogs. They play with it along the back line now. Look to probe here a little bit, find their opportunities to move forward. Just over 10 minutes into this game, 0-0 is your score. Early opportunities by the Bulldogs, and things have settled in the last 10 minutes of gameplay.
And right now you're seeing the passing of a very elite high school boys program.
Benjamin down that right side, into the middle. Can't quite tip it away from pressure, but now back out Hoey near side. He'll serve it into the box.
And there's a player there.
Can't come through with it. Colin Johnson on the other end of that, just inside the penalty spot. Got a good volley on it, but it was right to Ayotte. He's there for the save.
Appeared to a certain extent to possibly have been offsides, but the official was in great position to make that call. And the timing of the attack for Bedford is excellent. And we got a player cramping up over here, Corey, on our touch.
I believe that's Evan Hoey.
I think actually one of his teammates was calling previously for the coach to get somebody ready to go in for him. He'd been complaining just a couple minutes ago.
So Hoey will be subbed out. Logan Tennant will take on the right back position here. Looks like Jake Bilecki comes on the left side.
This is just the second game that BCTV has broadcast this season so far. And Corey, in the first one, the girls' game that I did with Lauren Fox, Lauren asked me if there were any rule changes. And I said, there's only none, except in the state of New Hampshire. The state of New Hampshire modified, which they're allowed to do, our soccer committee dropped overtime for regular season games. There's no longer the 2 5s that we've had in the past. They still have overtime in the playoffs.
What's behind that? Were they not seeing any games really decided in those 2 5-minute overtime periods?
Was that a preset question that we had planned to ask?
Not at all.
No, guess what? Lauren asked me that after I said it at the girls' game, and I said, I'm not sure, but I'll find out. And I found out.
Did you find out? Okay.
I found out. The answer is.
On the edge of our seats.
And I was not right. But it makes sense. Think about this. As you know, it's been getting darker earlier and earlier and earlier. We're blessed with a beautiful field with great lights. Many schools don't have that. And what you run into is if there's delays in the start of the game or injuries or something, you can get into overtime and it can be dark. So that was the primary reason behind it.
Some footwork here on the near side by Hoey.
Secondary reason.
Fisher again.
Secondary reason I was given, I don't really buy it, is that college doesn't have regular season overtime.
Oh, tough tackle there, right on the edge of the box. Are they going to? No call. I think the trail official felt the Concord defender got a lot of the ball, so it'll be a corner kick for the Bulldogs. Just inside 25 minutes.
And the viewers could clearly see where that play was, and the 2 referees in blue were really far away. Not that that's not the best positions, or not the best positions to be in. Watch his corner go.
Santerre on the corner kick, trying to get on the other end of it was Eli Kaplow. Now Ayotte boots it out.
If that foul, though, was inside the penalty area, Corey, it would have been a tough one for either official to call because they were so far away.
Very much so. It was inside the box, so it would likely have resulted in a PK, but no call there. Bulldogs settle for that first corner kick of the game and had an opportunity there. Several players right there. Nice in-swinging right-footed corner kick just inside the 6-yard box, and that usually spells trouble. Ooh, tough through ball there, catches the back foot of Gabe Teixeira. And now Johnson back onto it. Nice run through the middle. Hoey, he'll have a go at it just high and harmlessly outside of the frame. Goal kick for the Crimson Tide.
Not an on-goal shot, but at least it was one of the first true hard attempts to hit that ball in. You got to have them. If you don't shoot, you don't score.
Goal kick will be taken by the goalie, Dean Ayotte. Apologies there. I believe that was Tavis Wallace on that last play. At 5 and 6 look very much alike from up here in the booth. 5 being Hoey, who is substituted out just moments ago with injury. And that's Wallace again on the ball, slipping there on that far sideline. And tough turnover there for the Bulldogs. Bulldogs to this point in the season, again 4-0. They beat Nashua South to start their season 3-1, followed by a win up at Hanover 2-0 as an impressive win early season for the Bulldogs. They beat Manchester Central 2-1 on the 6th, and then last week at Wyndham, they won 3-0. So as you mentioned, they've started 4-0, and Coach Pepper has to be pleased with how this team is gelling early season. Concord, on the other hand, as you mentioned coming in, 0-5, but this is not really an 0-5 team, so you might look at it on paper and say the Bulldogs are likely to roll tonight, but this is a solid team. This is a highly skilled team and not a team you would have thought would start with such a tough early result. And Mirza now here. Great ball up. I believe Wallace served him out there. Mirza gets a nice left boot on it, and he'll put the Bulldogs on the score. 21:46 left in the first half.
Brings them to 6 goals on the year. Jumping ahead in that stat category.
And it was Wallace with the assist who will get the credit.
That was a beautiful,
Bedford goal scored by
beautiful
number 10,
goal that won't be able to see until we get back home again tomorrow.
Assisted by number 6.
They put the
Wallace.
game up for us.
Just a great ball served by Wallace too.
Nice.
You know, we aren't going to be able to see the replay, but that was served nicely to the top of the box. And now Benjamin's going to give Mirza another shot here.
Oh, look at this.
Mirza switches across the mouth of the goal. Beautifully touched.
Think Texera.
I think you're right, as Gabe Teixeira was running onto it from his midfield position. Couldn't quite get a foot. I think he actually got megged by his teammate there, but possibly thinking that Mirza was going for a brace within 20 seconds of each other. And just overran it. Had the ball go right through the wickets. Tough one there for the Bulldogs, but they've been putting pressure on this Concord defense the entire first half.
You know, Texera's dad, when they were, I'm pretty sure it was the Hanover game, Tavis Wallace scored a really nice goal up there. And he was saying how it looked like the same team from last year, the way that they're passing, and Ollie's really stepped up. He predicted really good things to come from this group right in here, right now.
And I am not surprised to hear of Mirza's 6 goals already. 5th game in. He's on quite a pace. It seemed like when he was substituted in last year as a sophomore, he was always in the right place at the right time and was always getting just a toe on it or a nice shot and beating the goalies left and right as a sophomore. So it's great to see his continued success here in his junior campaign.
Yeah, I'd say throughout last season, I might say that Ali was the most improved during the season. A lot of the players were good from start to finish, but he started off a little bit shaky, but ended up very, very strong. Credit to some of the players around him as well as the coaches.
Bulldogs will earn another corner kick. Far corner here now. They're up 1-0 on that goal just moments ago by Ali Mirza, assisted by Tavis Wallace. I believe that will be Santerre again. We can't see that number from way up here. They go short corner. Teixeira tips it back.
Nice
tic-tac-toe. I like it. And now Mirza will tip in another. Second goal within 2 minutes of each other. Beautiful tic-tac-toe, as you were mentioning. Short corner, went high, went back down low near that end line, and a chip over finds the foot of Ali Mirza for his second of the first half.
Corey, if I remember correctly, weren't we talking about short corners last year?
We were. You're absolutely right. For those that remember, it's one of my least favorite plays in this beautiful game, and there, one of the first times I've ever seen it work, Mr. Klein.
And it's certainly you have to have that skill, the knowing where the player's going to go, because they're not passing to the player, they're passing to spaces where the player's moving into, where there's no defender.
Bedford
It's a beautiful thing.
Number 10,
Gosh.
Ali Mirza. Assist by number 11, Gabe Teixeira.
So again, Mirza with 2 goals in just 2 minutes. And they'll credit Gabe Teixeira with the assist there on that nice little chip right into that mouth of the goal area. And the Bulldogs capitalize up 2-0 here halfway through the first half.
I was lucky that when I was coaching back in the late 70s, early 80s at offside, good call, Mr. Referee, not everybody's going to agree to that. But
beautiful pass there by Benjamin.
He was off just by
just
a hair. But the key there from a officiating standpoint and spectating is you can't argue. The official was right on the line, blew the whistle immediately.
Good positioning, credit to him on this near side. Leading official. It's tough positioning for these officials, as there are only 2 here. Usually you have linesmen that can help on either defensive line. There are only 2 here, so the positioning is somewhat unique.
Yeah, the 2-man system, not ideal, especially in that example earlier when we had the foul that was probably in the penalty area and both officials are so far away. It's difficult to sell that call.
Caplow clears it out from that back line and seeds a throw in.
Turning back the calendar again to the late 70s. Down in front of me right now, there are 2 players. One is the father of James Looney, Mark Looney, business owner here in Bedford. And next to him is he was a young man, Doug Thompson. They're both probably 60 years of age now. They both played for me. They were 3 or 4 year starters at Merrimack High School. And with one other player, the 3 of them were capable of doing the level of play that you're seeing here from Bedford. They clicked together so well. It was a beautiful thing. It made coaching a pleasure.
Fun to see some of these legends in the New Hampshire soccer community coming back and enjoying a game or 2.
Doug Thompson actually drove all the way down from Concord. He owns a very large Thompson landscaping business up there, very successful. And he came down to sit with Mark, his former graduate teammate, and alongside of him is Doug's dad, who helped coach the summer soccer program in Bedford for Merrimack years ago. Because back then you could not, I don't know if it's changed or not, but during the summer, the off season, you could not coach your own players. And Stu Thompson stepped up to that job. And
I believe that's still the case along all sports in the NHIAA. You are not allowed to coach your teams in those off-season opportunities. So
it makes
they rely
sense.
on dads and club players and others who are ready to step up, captains perhaps, that want to take that leadership role and keep the team together and working on their skills in the off-season, but can't benefit from their head coach. Nicely intercepted there by Concord. Played back all the way to Walensky.
Nice clear by Walensky.
That was Siddiqui Rukumbuzi that had broken through on that back line for Concord.
I think we just had an offsides call that I don't know if I can totally agree with. And the official did not signal at all. He blew. I heard a weak whistle. It's the official with his back to us. That's why it sounded weak. I'm sure it wasn't the official's fault. But he did not. Now he's signaling indirect free kick, and that's the only call it could have been. Ball's going to come back.
The undercut.
Yeah, good call.
That was Sammy Aranzi getting called for the foul there. Crimson. Benjamin plays the through ball up that left side.
Run.
Kicked out of bounds harmlessly on the far side by Drayden Niambo. Bulldogs will have a throw in. We'll see a couple substitutions here.
And Rambo's play to just safely kick that out was his only choice at that speed he was running. He's pretty quick. He had the pressure on him. If he did anything different and lost it, would not have been a good situation for Concord.
See 3 substitutions for the Bulldogs. Italo, Vinicius, Gondon, Rodriguez in for the Bulldogs, along with Ryland Hooven. Both players seeing their first action, and Hoey is back on this near side defensive wing.
Looked like the keeper may have misplayed that ball, but actually I guess he was able to punch it out. It was a nice play. He does not look too shaky back there in spite of their record. And of course, we don't know if he's played all the other games or not, right, Corey? We have no idea about that.
Well, I haven't seen all of their games, so we'll just make some assumptions that he probably hasn't. They do have 3 other goalkeepers on their roster, but none of them are playing, perhaps due to injury, perhaps due to effectiveness or ineffectiveness, if it were. Bulldogs up 2-0 here with 13 minutes left in the first half. 2 goals by Ali Mirza, both beautiful goals, putting the Bulldogs on top. The first on a nice through ball from Davis Wallace from the near side to just outside the top right of the box. Mirza took maybe one dribble and got a left foot on it, found the back of the net. And then not 2 minutes later, he capitalized on a short corner. Beautiful tic-tac-toe passing. Finally served inside by Gabe Teixeira. And now we're going to have another run here. Goalie ranging out. Ayot kicks it out of harm's way. Teixeira serving Ali Mirza again, who gave a beautiful volley to find the back of the net just 2 minutes later from his first goal.
Ayot just made a gutsy play there. I think he kicked that all the way out. It was when he touched the ball, it was beyond the 25-yard line. He came way out of the goal to clear it.
Bulldogs calm things down along their back line, near side to Hoey. Seems to have come back into the game without too serious of injury. Wallace here plays it off the foot of Bryce Fisher. So Hoey will take the throw in for the Bulldogs.
Corey, did Bielecki start the match?
He did not. He was on that far side.
He did come in though. He got a little playing time.
Correct. He's still in there, far side, number 14, playing that left back position. Wallace here will take a shot just over the crossbar.
The reason I asked, I couldn't see the number on that far side, is the coach told me before the game that he's not had much playing time yet this season because he went out early, I think in the first game. It's nice to see him back out there.
Went out early with an injury?
It could have been cramping, but it resulted in an after effect where he did not recover from it. So it may have been a partially strained muscle, more than just a cramp.
Bielecki, of course, a beautiful strike late in the playoffs. I believe it was the semifinals last year.
It was, yes.
Just an absolutely fantastic set piece, free position, free kick shot, and found the back of the net. Of course, the Bedford faithful went crazy.
Yeah, that goal was scored from probably about 30 yards away. It was halfway between the goal post and the touch line, up the field about 20 yards. So it was a rocket of a shot.
Nice job by Hoey. Find the feet of his forward. With Santerre trying to run onto it. Now far sideline. Don finds it, scoots it ahead.
Just put a couple passes together there. That was nice.
It's always good when they connect.
And then instead of just clearing the ball out, is that Bielecki over there?
That is Bielecki.
Bielecki hits it off the attacking player to get a throw in for Bedford.
And that was Bielecki taking the throw. Kaplow will boot it down there, looking for
nice foot
through. Teixeira plays it near side. Wallace. Now Hooven plays it forward. 2 touches here. Shot is smothered.
Corner.
Nice job by Williams to get back defensively.
Wow. I'd say possession time and opportunity goal scoring opportunities are like, gosh, we think
I'm making
80%.
Yeah, I mean, certainly the possession has got to be 60 to 70% in favor of Bedford, and chances, yes, absolutely. I would say at least 5 or 6 good chances in addition to the 2 goals they've already scored.
It's actually remarkable that they haven't scored more at this point. They've had some fantastic plays right inside the goal area down there. Here we go.
Bielecki will take the corner, left foot in swinger, and he'll do it again as it was headed away by Dargy. So the ball comes back near side.
Substitute.
Is as Bilecki tries to track down the ball and reset it in this near corner on our right side. We just ticked under 8 minutes to go in the first half. 2-0 is your score. The Bulldogs lead on 2 beautiful goals by Ali Mirza, the junior forward, generating some offense and really finishing on 2 beautiful balls to him as well. Backside.
Oh,
Kaplow gets ahead on it, but his header is just wide to the left. Beautiful job to get it down, but it did trickle by harmlessly, so it stays 2-0. These Bulldog corner kicks have been very well put together and have generated some great opportunities for them.
last season, Elliot Texera was the designated corner kick taker. He probably hit 9 out of 10 balls. Be interested to see if the coaching staff is doing the same thing with Bilecki this year.
Bilecki has been taking those left-footed corners, and then Santera was on it from the opposite side as a righty.
Over there? Okay.
Here plays it into the middle. Mirza now plays forward, running onto it. Santera trying to make some additional connected passes, looking for Rodriguez there, but again kicked out wide by the Concord D.
Not exactly sure what the Concord team is in terms of lack of intensity versus seem to have most of the skills down. Probably just the teamwork thing is the major thing. It's hard for me to tell. Do you have any idea, Corey, any viewpoint on that?
I have to say, a little pep in the step for the Bulldogs has yielded a good number of 50-50 balls in their favor. There's challenges where it could go either way, and just a step here, a bounce there. The Bulldogs have shown that intensity throughout since that opening kickoff.
It's kind of like a reaction time. They seem to really shoot out over and over and over again. Just jump into the plays.
I've been impressed with their ability to finish in the final third too. They've had some opportunities, and Mirza again has capitalized on them. Here's Rodriguez streaking down. Takes another step, kicked out wide, initially saved, and now popped away. I believe that was Don back there for Crimson Tide, getting another foot on it.
Nice defensive play by him to catch that ball that was going past him in the air and flick it out. Very nicely done.
Has a few moments here, tries to set up a long ball all the way forward, but can't connect with Sammy Iranzi. Here's Benjamin, near side Hoey.
They're, we call using the entire field, of moving the ball back and forth from touch line to touch line very, very nicely.
Looney has checked in near side. He was that original stretch pass all the way to near side. Here he is again. Tries to tip it forward. And now Mirza runs onto it as 2 Concord defenders swarm him. He'll play it forward now. Looney across, middle, score! Looney.
Hey, a little applaud there for the son of my former player.
Beautiful
nice
ball there, just cut it all the way across, right-footed. Got it to the far side, and that's Devin Lafferty who finishes, the freshman. Getting some time, getting an opportunity, and putting the Bulldogs up 3.
Worth the price of admission as far as I'm concerned, and for the families down below me here, you know, they are quietly ecstatic. That was Looney's first assist in the varsity program this year.
Well, I can imagine it was Lafferty's first goal as the freshman.
I believe you're right. Let me check to see if I have anything on that. I don't.
Number 12, James Looney.
Phenomenal connection by 2 substitutes there. And the Bulldogs up 3-0 and looking like they are in command. Just 3.5 minutes to go here in the first half. As you mentioned, Bulldogs just a step behind that second to last defender, so they do get called for offside. Ayotte will take the free kick. And I wouldn't say that the Concord team has really had any meaningful opportunities. They haven't really been able to test Walensky back there in the cage for the Bulldogs. Of course, he's handled it once or twice on a header here and there or a long ball that's been played into the box, but really no challenges so far for the defense nor Walensky.
Speaking of goalkeepers, mentioning former Bedford players, Zoe Santos graduated 2 years ago. As a sophomore now, she's the starting keeper for the Citadel and has played 90 minutes of 5 out of their first 7 games with a pretty good goals against average. She's looking good down there. Fit right into the program, and I'm sure that's pretty competitive at a school like that, military type academy.
Great to hear that success for Zoe. Her younger brother Camden is now on the Bedford football squad, making some contributions. Ball gets pinballed around on that far sideline. It's both teams vie for possession. Now we'll have a foul on Mirza. Ayotte comes all the way out of the goal. Looks like he wants to take that.
Yeah, look at this. This is the furthest in a not tie game near the end of a period that I've ever seen a goalkeeper that far out of the goal to take a free kick, although
he relents now.
He's relents after we discussed this.
As Kaylin Williams will take it, boot it down that far right side.
That was a nice ball. There's nothing wrong with that kick.
Ticked inside 2 minutes of playing time here in the first half. The game clock is stopped as they keep the remainder of this on the field. We'll hear a final halftime whistle here just momentarily as the Bulldogs lead 3-0. 2 goals by Ali Mirza, 1 goal by Devin Lafferty.
Ooh, I don't know if that was a good decision. I thought they were going to pass the ball all the way across. The right defender's totally wide open. And there's no one over here to pressure them at all.
A couple of passes connected, but the Bulldogs missed the last one. Excuse me, they do not miss the last one. Apparently it got tipped on that way out. So they'll take the throw in. No, that's why it was a little different than what we thought. They called a foul.
I have no what it was.
Caplow plays it all the way across near side, finding Jefferson Cotnoir. And you heard the countdown on the field. That'll do it for the first half of action here at Bedford High School. The Bulldogs lead 3-0 over the visiting Concord Crimson Tide. Again, 2 goals by Ali Mirza, 1 by Devin Lafferty. And the Bulldogs will take a 3-0 halftime score. We'll rejoin you on the other side after 10-minute break for second half action here from Bedford High School. And welcome back to Bedford High School here in Bedford, New Hampshire, where the Bulldogs are playing host to the Concord Crimson Tide in this Division I boys soccer matchup. They are hosting, but not hosting very nicely as they are ahead 3-0 at halftime. The Bulldogs benefiting from 2 goals by Ali Mirza in that first half and another by freshman Devin Lafferty. 2 beautiful goals by Ali Mirza, one on a long through ball from Tavis Wallace near side, went just outside of the 18-yard box. Mirza took 1 touch and then smashed it into the back of the net with that strong left foot. Not 2 minutes later, Mirza scored his second on a short corner play. Tic-tac-toe starting with Santerre coming up high, then back to Teixeira, who was on the end line. Chipped it up beautifully to Ali Mirza, who volleyed it in. 2-0 was the score at that point. Again, not 2 minutes later after that first. And then about 4 or 5 minutes later at the 15-minute mark, Devin Lafferty got on the end of a nice cross from James Looney. That put the Bulldogs up 3-0, and that's where we ended the half. The Bulldogs dominant in possession time throughout that first half, really keeping the Concord Crimson Tide from putting any credible threat together. Again, Walensky might have touched it on 1 or 2 clearouts, a couple of long balls that trickled into his box, but for the most part, that Bedford defense was either smothering or untested throughout that first half. Again, I'm Corey Munster-Tiger here for BCTV, joined in the booth by Bill Klein. Bill, thoughts from that first half of action?
Geez, it was like I said near the end of it that I was surprised that Bedford didn't score more goals, but it seems like it is 2 skill levels here, a little bit different. Concord, though, you got to understand that they're young. If you didn't hear what I had mentioned early, they're a split 6 seniors, 6 juniors, 6 sophomores, and 3 freshmen. And Bedford's heavy with seniors. We've got 12 seniors playing. And there's a couple other players, including that younger player that scored one of those goals.
Devin Lafferty being that younger player. This group, as you mentioned, so many seniors, they've been playing for quite some time all together, summer leagues, club games. All these players, again, back for a championship winning team from last season, looking to make another strong run through the Division I boys side here in 2024. Similar kind of pattern has continued here as we start the second half, mostly on the Concord side of the field, testing this defense left and right. Doing nicely here to clear it out is Drayden Yambo. Shielding Bilecki off of the ball, near side. Cleared out, but right to Ethan Benjamin for the Bulldogs. Kaplow will swing it across that back line. Here's Hoey. Now far side to Tennant.
Sometimes when you have a somewhat mismatched game like this is, the lower level playing team can get more physical, but tonight so far that hasn't been the case. I hope I don't mess that up. Corey knocking
on my head, knock on wood. Teixeira there with an opportunity. Got his right foot on it, but it was well wide of the cage. Yes, you're absolutely right. Sometimes the team that is a little bit overmatched starts getting a bit more physical. You start seeing more and more fouls throughout, and that's on the referees to ensure the level of play stays competitive but also clean at the same time. And again, both teams have done a nice job. A few fouls called here and there throughout the first half, but largely a clean match so far.
And I believe you probably said it, but Caleb is in goal for Bedford.
I did not. I believe they have switched out, so Caleb Yater.
And as the coach said, they probably would split it 50-50.
Again, Walensky playing that first half of action. That is Yater back in net now for this second half. Johnson serves it through the middle, can't connect with Teixeira, who is there and close. It was tipped away by the near side defender for the Crimson Tide. I believe that was Kalen Williams getting a foot on it for Concord.
How small a world is this? My one of my former players down here, his father, who I'll be playing golf with tomorrow morning. We have a tee time at 9 o'clock. He says, Bill, do you know Ali Mirza? I said, well, I've met him. I've met his family a couple times. He said, well, you see his dad over there? He said, that's one of my doctors.
There you go.
And Stu is from Merrimack, where I had coached a long time ago. But this is a doctor at, I think he's from CMC, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if you know Dr. Mirza.
I do not. We appreciate him either way.
Hey.
Mirza there trying to play a ball across the middle to Santerre, can't make the connection. And now the ball forward by Tennant. all the way back to that back line. Here's Somali Ramadani.
Concord defense seems to be gelling. I think they must have talked specifically whether they're changed their strategy, tactics back there somehow. Formation, I don't know.
Mears again threatening. Nice ball into the middle. Teixeira, Ayotte save. The rebound came out in front.
And we get a corner coming.
Played away by Drayden Yambo. But another fantastic opportunity for the Bulldogs. As Teixeira drilled it, but drilled it right at Ayotte. He had another opportunity in the first half on a nice, nifty little cross.
Short corner, short corner. Look at this. Here we go again.
Here it is. Another short corner. Bilecki will take a shot. He'll sail over the cage.
Nicely played. Nicely played. Nice shot.
Bilecki lined that up, and Teixeira sprinted over there to take that short corner. Bilecki opted for the shot from a tough angle. Got a good strike on it, but it was high and off the mark. Ayotte. Great goal kick. Don onto the ball for the Crimson Tide. Again, I'm just using the shortened name. I don't prefer to butcher it any further than I need to. And now Hoey. Kaplow, near side Bilecki. Challenged here by Millette. Does well to get it forward and keep possession for the Bulldogs. Here's Johnson.
It's amazing how long the Bedford players are able to keep the ball in that tough traffic. That was like 3-on-1. Didn't slow them down at all.
A couple of tight little moves there by Wallace. One heavy touch, though, led to it being broken up by Concord D. And now Bilecki. A little overlap on this left wing. He'll serve it in. Saved by Ayotte.
You don't see that many punches by keepers anymore. It seems like a lost skill, but this young man is doing a great job of putting that to practice tonight. I think that's his third effective punch.
Santerre will take the corner, near side. Beautiful high arcing ball into the middle of that formation. Teixeira serves it in again. Chested down by Williams down to that left side of the defense.
Teixeira had 2 targets right in there. Ali, I think, is one of them, and I don't know the other one.
I believe they have Kaplow coming up from his center back position due to his height and his ability to get his head on that ball and give some opportunities on those set pieces. Hoey steps up, interrupts that flow.
Nice ball.
And now Wallace near side Bilecki. Nice ball indeed, outside of his right foot.
Let go out. Corner. Sorry, no. I thought that was a corner.
Be a goal kick there, as it did tip off of Bilecki. I believe that hit Yambo, but and then bounced back and ricocheted off of Bilecki. He didn't seem to protest too much.
No, the post between the windows to your left, Corey, are right in that spot that I've got to go back and forth to follow the ball when it's in that area.
We're 8 minutes into this second half. The Bulldogs lead 3-0. Have been dominating possession. Have had at least 2 opportunities in the second half here. Hoey gets back nicely to help get that off of the far sideline where the Crimson Tide will have a throw in.
Obviously, everybody knows, probably that's listening to this, that Bedford has not had a high school for a real long time, like Concord has, of course. We have one thing in common with Concord, and that we both have won 3 state championships up through last year.
Yater coming off of his line into traffic, got a foot on it. He was challenged in deep and Lucky to keep that ball outside of the cage. That was Siddiqui Rukumbuzi putting pressure after a big throw. Another one here. Shot. It's going to go high and over the cage. And again, the first, anything of significance, the first opportunities that that the Crimson Tide have had here, that was by Jonah Gabby. He poked it high, and it could have been an awkward shot, but it did go over the crossbar and did not require a save by Yater.
I think Concord definitely is playing considerably better than they did in the first half, connecting more balls, but the Bedford team again still is just able to control the ball. So many more touches, better runs.
Tennant steps across, makes a nice defensive play and plays it all the way across the field here to Bilecki. Bilecki tracked down and then fouled by Jeremy Millette. Quick restart. Too quick.
That was not fair.
What part? What do you mean not fair?
The referee blowing the whistle after. They should have allowed that quick restart.
He wanted to have a couple of...
The referee took away the advantage that Bedford had by being smart and wanting to do that. And unfortunate. I think from the referee's standpoint, what he was looking at was the fact that it was a defender that was getting in the way. Here's a good ball. Ooh.
Played in that lefty swinger into the top part of the box. Defended well by Kaylin Williams. But now the Bulldogs with another opportunity will...
Changing field again.
Keep possession. Come near side. Bilecki trying to lose his defender. Tennant. Up that far sideline, here's Wallace. Wallace ahead for Johnson.
Nice ball. Great.
Williams steps in and breaks up that opportunity.
Of course, we've already announced that the girls won again tonight, beating Concord 6-1, remain undefeated. They're not the only teams for Bedford that are undefeated right now.
Wallace, beautiful
nice
stutter
back
step.
pass. Oh,
Mirza
should have shot.
Was there.
Should have pulled the trigger.
Couldn't quite get one off, and now Bilecki, I believe, is going to get called for a handball there.
Volleyball girls are 5-0 after having undefeated season, state championship again last year.
Speaking of a
4
handball.
in a row. Yeah, speaking of a handball, there you go. Where you're allowed to do it. Field hockey, not quite undefeated, but they're 5-1, very respectable. Last one up in Academy in Saco, Maine.
They took care of Nashua North in their opener down at Stellos.
Which I believe you were at.
I sure was.
Broadcast that one.
Eric Kozlowski and I were on the airways that night. And then this past Saturday, they took care of Thornton Academy, as you mentioned, traveling to Maine. I believe the final was 35-14.
And as I mentioned, Corey, the 14 points were scored before Bedford hit the scoreboard to make it 14-0, and then after that it was all Bedford. They shook off the long ride or whatever it was that put everything back together and had a great game.
Long ride, slow start, jitters, butterflies, who knows what it was, but they did recover. BCTV and
Nice
WBNH
touch.
will bring you action from Stello Stadium again this Saturday night as the Bulldogs will travel down and take on Bishop Girton.
And Bishop Girton is one of the teams that the boys and the girls soccer teams are not going to be playing this year. They also have an advantage in that they do not have to play Exeter.
Exeter,
Some of the top
strong
programs.
program here this year for the boys. As I believe they are the only other undefeated Division I team at this point.
That is correct.
Playing around on this near sideline. Bulldogs had a couple of opportunities on quick starts, a foul here and there, a quick throw in, but they don't make too much of a threat. Now we'll have a couple of substitutions for the Crimson Tide. 3-0 is your score as we are just about 15 minutes into this second half. Somewhat lackluster on both sides, in both a bit of a haze here in the second half as the Bulldogs took a 3-0 lead into halftime.
Co-ed sport, based on numbers and time, etc., the financial aspect of it. Bedford's had a total of 8 matches played at 3 different sites, so they're all multi-team events. They are 8-0, undefeated.
Good to hear. Again, more success by these programs throughout. Mirza getting tangled up there in the middle. Santerre tried to earn the throw-in for the Bulldogs, but the officials call it in favor of Concord. Ball bounced out of bounds near side. Bilecki will throw it in for Bedford.
And we've got substitutions coming. While they're running in and out and you're figuring that out, a quick mention that the NHIAA has added a new sanctioned sport. Are you ready for this, Corey? Maybe you already know this. It is called esports.
Oh, okay.
I had never heard of it until today on the website, and I see the posting, which is the entire post is highlighted. What you do is you highlight changes. Well, the entire thing's highlighted because it's all brand new. Super Smash Brothers.
Wow. Making some progress. Good for
Rocket League.
NHIAA. Yeah, I know Rocket League.
Whoa, baby.
Get a foul here.
We have a penalty kick coming, folks.
That's a tough one there.
Who's going to take it is my question.
I believe Rodriguez was streaking down that right side, coming in at an aggressive angle. And Kalen Williams is going to get called for the foul. That's a tough one because of the timing there. That last touch by Rodriguez was very heavy. He was not catching up to that. And the foul occurred just after that touch. Clearly within play, clearly within the box. So the Bulldogs will have a penalty here.
And I'm going to want to re-watch that one, Corey, because it also looked like it could have been a red card penalty. If the forward, if it was between him and the goalkeeper, no other defenders, that would have been a red card, a disqualification for on the foul. I'm not sure that it was that clear scoring advantage.
Yeah, I would say it was a tough angle, and,
Yeah.
and it would be a bit surprising if they would call it red. Maybe a yellow there. Okay, I could see that. It was a
Which he
somewhat
gave,
aggressive
yeah,
call
yeah.
And foul in a tough area. But so they did give a yellow. I'm not sure I saw the yellow.
Yes.
Okay, so.
Yes. Yeah, he did card the player, which was good.
And now Colin Johnson stands over it, ready for this penalty kick opportunity. The senior midfielder is ready. Instructions being given to the goalkeeper. Of course, he has to stay on his end line until the ball is struck. CJ approaches and calmly puts it into that right low corner.
4-0.
Go up
Bulldogs.
4-0.
Great mechanics, by the way, by that official. I will try to be nice when I do criticize them, which I will if called for, but only if really necessary. I'm going to try to be a little gentler this year, and I'm sure Bill Jennings probably likes the sound of that, right? He's up above us. He's going to pound his foot on the floorboards in a second, maybe.
Bedford goals.
But seriously, that official's mechanics were perfect. Everybody knew he made it strong. It was a loud whistle. Hand signal was up. Clock stopped. That's why I could clearly state immediately that we had a penalty kick coming. Nice job.
Well, I have to say the mechanics by the player were also quite well. CJ Johnson calmly approaching it and burying it in that low right corner like he's done it a million times before. Great to see him get on the scoreboard for the Bulldogs here in the second half. So 4-0 is your score. And kudos to Rodriguez, again, streaking in on that right wing, putting the defense under pressure, causing that foul in the penalty area and gaining the PK opportunity for the Bulldogs. Here's Rodriguez again battling with Don. Don comes away with it. Plays it forward. Oh, he stepped out sideline, and the Bulldogs will throw it in. 23 minutes to go in this game.
And when I mentioned Bill Jennings, our CEO, president, etc.
Grand Poobah, I like to call
Grand Poobah.
Yeah,
That's right. That's your favorite line for him. Well, he is upstairs on the camera tonight with Andrew Fenn back at the studio.
BCTV team bringing you all this Bedford high school sports action. A lot of soccer games, a lot of volleyball games, the football games, trying to get as many student athletes on TV as possible this fall. Good opportunity for the Bulldogs there, but Crimson Tide are able to defend. Near side, here's Darji. He'll play a long ball. Nicely played, and then played out of bounds by Tennant. Sammy Aranzi ran onto it for the Crimson Tide, had some legs and the opportunity. It was good ball, nice touch on it, floated it down to him and changed the positioning on the field. Here's Sammy Ramadani, but that goes out of bounds. Trying to show some footwork and a little spark for this Crimson Tide soccer team. Again, very few opportunities so far. Yater did come out and got a foot on a high awkward ball earlier in this half, but other than that, very little to speak of for the Crimson Tide. Hooven comes back in for the Bulldogs, as does James Looney. Grayson Provencher also in.
One of the real difficult things at any level of sports is the playing time that you're giving to players that have spent as much time as anybody else at the practices preseason, worked hard to make a team. And it's nice to see that most of the players are getting out there, that are carried up here, and they're not just sitting on the bench. I read that line in a book today about a prior player who made it into the NBA eventually, but started off, he said when he went to college, he went to a big school, and he knew he wasn't going to get much playing time. But that's different than, especially in high school. Being get out of this, they haven't through these programs.
Agreed. That maybe not every the same, and this is a competitive environment. These teams are trying to win, so it's nice when your team is up 4-0 here in the second half.
Defensive head ball down and under control. Crimson Tide. Yeah, absolutely. And even when you're up like with a score of 4-0, and you've got some, you know, you can have some really tough games ahead of you. If you don't give this group, so to speak, type of a situation, time to work together and learn each other's movement, then you're taking something away from their possibility of becoming another championship year for them. And that's all the players who win the championship.
Well, it's about program development too. These players are, at this point, the younger players on the roster are getting some quality minutes here against.
And top players just in the beginning of the season. Well, what happens if you lose some of those top players and you have to bring kids on the field that haven't had any time yet? Nice back pass by James Looney.
Looney and Preventure keeping possession here on that near sideline. Tennant plays it across, and now Bulldogs look to keep possession. Self along, but can't get back onto it.
I don't know.
Or he can't get on. That
The cheap seats, Corey. Cut this post down.
long ball play. Looks like Connor Reardon. Didn't catch all of the numbers. I believe there are at least 2 subs for Concord that came on.
Nice feint by
Looney,
and
he gets
by
fouled.
doing the feint, he actually created the opportunity for the player to foul him. Maintain control. Oh, we got too many balls on the field here. The ref wants it moved. The foul.
Jacobson was ready to take it 10 yards farther. And now Provencher will play it across. Hoey chips it ahead to
Offside.
Wallace, who is in an offside position.
Surprising that a kick like that would be called offsides.
They're in that position.
Yeah.
Far side. And that is right midfield. Assisted. 0's your score. 15 minutes to go in this game. The Bulldogs ahead. Teixeira will be called offside here on that long ball from close to midfield as Hoey hit a beautiful ball into that penalty area. Teixeira just creeped in behind the D and gets called for offside.
One of the things about being offsides on a free kick like that is because of the dead ball situation. It's an opportunity if he sees the attack the opposite direction, put him in an offside position if he's not watching him.
That can be somewhat touchy though. Time you might be getting yourself in an awkward position.
Or if the referee doesn't make the call.
True. Bulldogs working possession near side. But stepping in the way there was Sammy Ramadani. Tennant plays inside. Hoey across the back line.
Fans like that physical play down there in the right-hand corner. The Bedford player.
Jefferson Cotnoir playing that right back position for the Bulldogs. Found a little bit of trouble and now moved. An opportunity for the Crimson Tide there. Now Teixeira will try to run onto it in the left wing here.
They will call that out of bounds off on the far wing.
Looked like defender.
Just didn't have enough gas to get there on time.
No, they were both running full speed and had started about midfield, I believe.
Bit too far. Darji will play it back to Ayotte. His pass gets deflected by Rodriguez. Showing a little hustle still with 12 and Provencher plays it back to Tennant. They'll go across the back line. Hoey. That's Cotnoir. Hoey does nicely to get out of the way of two defenders, and then he gets called for a foul on Don. So Concord has a free kick.
I don't agree with that at all.
Had done well.
Did you see Huey say, me? I was playing the ball. It was at his feet.
He stepped across his hands and arms and legs inside his frame, so that was a tough call on Hoey. Crimson Tide will play up nicely by Rodriguez here, and he gets fouled.
And I'd card that. I think he might.
And now he will, as he delayed the game.
He might get a card. I don't know. No, he's just telling them, calm down, boys.
Sammy Round told to get sub, give him a card there, but it seemed like the institution. And you're right, that could have been an opportunity. They were looking to catch. Had stepped in nicely to tip that ball away and regain possession for the Bulldogs after a very short free kick. Here's Ayotte playing it with his feet forward. Heavy touch there, and that'll be kicked away by Tennant.
Technically, a referee cannot, advise a coach to take a player out or tell the player to go out, but I recall doing that in a playoff match at Derryfield School years ago, and the reason I did it was because the player already had a yellow card, and if I gave him even a yellow, but the kid was just playing really hard, and I wanted to work with them, and as I've mentioned, extension of the classroom, the way we talk to in the high school programs about that stuff. And after the game, the coach came over to me and he said, I know exactly what you did, and I got to shake your hand. And, it's one of the finest things he said he's ever seen, the way that I managed it. I did get him off the field.
Well,
but without the card.
Of course. And I believe in the current rules, a red card would mean that player would miss the following game as well, if I'm not mistaken.
You are correct, yes.
Not sure if that was the case at the time, but again, that's heads-up officiating, knowing the situation and helping out the player, helping out the coach, making the right call. And you have discretion as an official whether or not you want to pull that out of your chest pocket in either color, so probably a good choice at the time. We're under 10 minutes to go here. Bulldogs are ahead 4-0. An early brace by Ali Mirza put the Bulldogs ahead 2-0. Just two goals just 2 minutes apart from each other. Twos were wild there in that first half. The first was assisted by Tavis Wallace. The second assisted by Gabe Teixeira. And then the freshman, Devin Lafferty, got on the scorebook, assisted by James Looney, putting the Bulldogs ahead 3-0. The lone goal of the second half came on a penalty kick at just under the 24-minute mark. Rodriguez was streaking in on that right wing. Had an opportunity. Heavy touch was going out of bounds, but he was fouled by a Concord defender. It was the right call. It was inside the box, leading to a penalty kick by Colin Johnson, who stood over it like the senior he is and buried it calmly into the low right corner. That gets us to 4-0. And where we are, game. Concord doing what they can to put together whatever opportunity they may have here.
And they're doing a little better job of pressuring the Bedford side at this point, getting to that ball quicker when it's on the feet of the Bedford player. But they're just not quite quick enough.
Next 3 games for Concord, they'll be at Nashua South, 10 a.m. on Saturday. Then they will play home against Alvern by a Friday night game at Goffstown. The Bulldogs will travel to Londonderry on Friday evening. Should be a good matchup between 2 heated competitors.
It's always a good team to play, good rivalry there.
And then we will bring you a doubleheader next Tuesday evening, as both the boys and the girls will be in action and hosting the Goffstown squads, who will be in town from just next door. Followed by a Thursday game against Manchester Memorial, also here at home. So next 3 games for both squads should be solid matches throughout Division I soccer here as they continue their approach towards the mid-season.
And I'm sure Concord would like to have this season change at some point here. And I know that there have been teams. I coached one once. We started a season with the opposite situation. My team was 8-0. And then somebody reminded me recently that the coach said something about, here's the teams we have left to play and we can make it into the tournament. Well, we subsequently lost the next 4 or 5 games in a row to teams that we should have been able to beat.
It's funny how that goes. You don't look for that perfect season. You look for a solid run throughout the regular season and try to put it together for the playoffs. You know, obviously when it counts. It's highly unusual in a sport with this many games in the regular season to try to go through unblemished.
And while Bedford's had quite a bit of success in the last few years, last time Concord won a championship wasn't that long ago, really, just 7 years ago. It was 2017. And last year, however, they did not make it into the tournament. They did the year before that in 22.
Great footwork, long ball, and Ayotte well out of his net. Push off here called on Hoey.
Nice gymnastics there. I'm going to give him a 9.2.
That was quite a recovery from the ground as Sammy Iranzi. Actually, he was called for the foul. I thought it was going to go on Hoey.
I know. I thought the same thing, Corey.
Iranzi gets called for it and shows some strength and body control coming back up through a handstand. We're under 5 minutes to go here in this game. Clock stops. The rest is kept on the field.
The lone goal that Hanover scored against us, the girls' match, the second match of the season, Bedford girls won 4-1. The one goal that Hanover scored was from a direct free kick just outside the penalty area. And Lauren Fox and I are sitting here. We did not see any foul at all. It was a bad throw. Oh my gosh!
Yes, it was, and it is called.
That was a real bad throw. You just don't see that. Oh my gosh!
Yeah, not at this level. That's a bit unusual, but
no,
they do call the bad throw.
But the advantage was going home, and then when BCTV brought the recording back up, I watched that, and lo and behold, it was a good call. The girl was fouled, whether it should have been necessary that close to the goal and whatnot, but it was a foul. And a great foot by the Hanover player to stick in the net, capitalize on it.
Throw here headed by Dargy.
5 minutes or less to go. Clock is kept on the field now.
Oh, he plays it out off that far side. Niambo will throw it in. I think they got called for a faulted throw as well.
So when the boys are playing over at Londonderry on the 20th, the girls will be here at home, 7 o'clock game. Like you said, followed by the Tuesday the 24th, the Goffstown game, which will be at 5 o'clock. Early game for the girls.
Early game, so the boys will play
Boys
right after, I believe,
7,
at
yes.
7. So
Boys at 7.
And again, we'll bring you those 2 games right here on BC TV. Opportunity here for the Crimson Tide as they try to make a push down the near side. Does go out of bounds over the end line, and that'll do it.
Match.
As we hear 3 whistles, we have met full time. The Bulldogs will take victory here this evening. Again, a beautiful weather night and a beautiful soccer night for the Bulldogs. They win 4-0. Scores by Ali Mirza. He had the 2 first ones. Devin Lafferty, the 3rd, all in the first half. The only score in the second half came from Colin Johnson on a penalty kick. Those are your 4 goals. The Concord offense had trouble putting much together, didn't really test the back line for the Bulldogs, nor the keepers. And Coach Pepper has to be pleased with tonight's performance. Any closing thoughts before we wrap it up, Bill?
Well, the Londonderry team this year that they're going to be playing next is in the middle of the pack. They're I think 2-2-1. And I don't see that as being a real challenge, but you never know because they are always a well-coached side and whatnot. Tonight's game was obviously clearly a very good one for Bedford. It appeared that no players were injured either, which is always good. And just want to thank Bill Jennings on camera here. I'm sure he did a great job. He can't do anything but a great job. Plus, I can't say anything bad about him anyway. And Andrew Fenn, back at the studio. Miss seeing you here tonight, Andrew. But here we go, onward with the rest of what should be a pretty darn good season for Bedford sports in general. And we're very pleased to be able to provide this coverage to you.
Great job by the BC TV crew. We appreciate Bill Jennings up top on camera, Andrew Fenn back in the studio. Replay of this game should be available on YouTube TV and posted everywhere, so please enjoy that. Again, the boys travel to Londonderry on Friday night. The Bedford boys football squad will take on the Bishop Girton Cardinals on Saturday evening. We'll bring you that on BC TV and WBNH 105.1. And then the boys soccer and girls soccer teams will be in action next Tuesday evening. We'll bring you that doubleheader here on BC TV as well. So again, final score here, 4-0. Thank you very much, Bill Klein. I'm Corey Munster-Tiger. Everybody have a great evening.